thanks for coming tonight. We're excited that you're here. I think everybody knows me. No, Maggie doesn't know me. That's okay. I love you, Maggie. All right. So just a few things. I have just a few announcements. Miss Diane's going to give a few announcements, and then we're going to give the floor to our lovely speaker tonight, so everybody can have a good session. I'm excited about it, and thank you for coming. Where are you located? In Mount Dora. Mount Dora. Okay, so they drove a little whiles to get here, so we're thankful for their time, men. Okay, so on the table, you should have seen this public transportation policy. It has a sample at the bottom. I'm not going to go through it. If you have questions about it, you can see me afterwards, okay? Because I don't want to take up our speaker's time. But I want to point it out to you. It's only for students 18 and older. 18 and older, okay? And it has to come through me. And I put sample on there so nobody can take a picture of their phone and handle it on their own, okay? So just take a second to read through the policy. I will point out on the very back page, and the students were handed this at the beginning of the year, best practices for families. Please read that, okay, so that we're making good choices and we're helping the students make good choices, okay? Also, I know the good cop, bad cop thing. Usually Miss Akins, Miss Jackson are the good cop and I'm the bad cop, you know? So every year I have people say, if you don't quit, I'm going to tell Dr. Robinson. So I'm cool with that. However, please make sure that you're not saying things like, if you don't straighten up, you're going to get sent back to China, or you're going to get sent back to Vietnam, or they're going to revoke your paperwork, things like that, okay? Please understand that I know it sounds like a real good, powerful, threatening thing to say, but when students have that happen, 90% of the time they are never allowed back in the United States. So the threat that poses holds a lot more gravity than you may realize. So I'm okay with you saying, I'm going to tell Dr. Robinson, but make sure that's where it stops, okay? That'll help me. It'll help the emotional, social spirit of your student as well, because the only person who has the right to send them home is me or immigration, not you or the teacher or the neighbor, okay? So if you'll just help me with that, that would be great. Okay, Miss Joy?
Many of you do know me. Some of you are brand new here. So I want to welcome you and thank you all for being so open with all of our international students. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories about realistic expectations. I have been in every one of your positions. I've been an international student. I came here when I was 17. I came and I was very scared. I had clothes that did not fit well, according to the Americans, who were already still wearing hot pants, go-go boots, and bell-bottom jeans. That was not the thing where I came from. We were 5 years already in advance with our clothing. So I felt ridiculed, hurt, and unwanted in a country that was supposed to be my own. So I have been where all of these students are. However, I had to learn, as being an international student and being American, that I was the one who had to do a little bit of changing, not all the people around me. I had to wear the hot pants and the go-go boots that were 5 years behind. I had to wear weird haircuts that didn't match what I thought anymore. I had to learn how to speak different because I spoke a different language. So realistically, I wanted everyone around me to change. I wanted them to understand that I came from something very different. Even though my father was American, my mother was English, but my father was a military man, so we traveled the world. After I stayed here for a long period of time, I had the opportunity to host international students. It was one of the most wonderful treasures I will always have. I've had over 150 students who have lived in my home. And believe me, I have learned a lot of different things at being a host family than being an international student. The first student that we had, he came from East Germany, 6 months after the wall came down, and his name was Henrik. My son and Henrik, to this day, are the best of friends. But I will tell you, the first 3 months that that little boy was in the home, there were almost fistfights between my son and him because of the differences that each country has. In America, when you go into a store, you do not open a box and bring this thing out. Henrik went into Walmart. He saw a clock radio he wanted to purchase. And my son screamed at him at the top of his lungs. Henrik and him almost had a fist fight in the middle of Walmart over a clock radio. My husband and I had to, one took Henrik, I took my son Paul, and when we got home at the end of that evening, they each went into their room, and about 30 minutes later, we all went out onto the back porch, and each one of the boys got to tell why he did what he did, and the other one did what he did. After that time, the boys implemented something in our home. So my boys helped me implement a weekly or every 2 weeks conference in our home where we could say whatever we needed to say, whether we liked some of the things that we liked or some of the things we didn't like. Some of the other things that we did in our home to help our students, because many of them came and had zero English. I had Naoki, who came from Japan. He could say, hello, my name is, and where is the bathroom, and where do I sleep? That was all he could say. We used to have picnics on our floor every night. We brought out a DVD. We watched videos. We watched television. We all did dishes together. My kids had to learn how to do many things that all of these students don't do at home, okay? I had boys from Spain who grew up with maids in their home. He had no idea how to do dishes. So every night, whoever had the dishes got to have their boombox. We all had to listen to very different kind of music. So in order to incorporate many different things and to have many of my students that are now still my kids, I have 47 grandchildren from all over the world because of all of the students who still call me mom. At Christmas time, I have not changed my phone number in 20 years because all of my kids still call. I have been to 15 weddings all over the world. This is a time that all of you are going to learn differences, and I hope that all of you, if you can't find a ground to make it fit, please call our company. I will be more than glad to give you ideas that we tried at our table or ideas that we did in order to help get the kids to make their bed every day. But please don't shut them out, and I'd hope that you students don't shut your host parents out. They are here to offer guidance, understanding, and patience. They are not your parents at home, but they do have a lot of love and care that they would like to share. So if you have any questions for me at the end, I'd glad to share anything that I have. Now I'd like to introduce Miss Gloria. Oh, sorry. She has a sheet that she'd like to give you about 3 minutes in your folder. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Here you go. It says, think about it. To fill out, because during her speech and her talk this evening, you're going to have the opportunity to answer these questions. Miss Gloria?